Hi, welcome to Bookwood. It's cold. Let's go inside. Come in.
Good morning. It is Monday today and it's time to start a new vlog. In this vlog, we'll be reading again for Petit Mois, Petites Lectures, a challenge that we posed to read for romantasyathon. If you want to know how that went, you can go see my vlog about that. We have 3 books that are still on my to be read list for Petit Mois, Petites Lectures, and I must be honest, I'm hesitating which one I would start with. We have La Sourcière, the Elise Fontenaille, which is a very, very short fantasy that might be the first I pick up. We have Les Oiseaux du Temps by Amal El-Mohtar. In English this is called This Is How You Lose the Time War. So I am very curious about that one. And then we have Paramo by Juan Rulfo.
No.
And this one also makes me very curious. So we will ask an innocent hand to pick out the first book that I should be reading. Maybe, viens chez maman.
Oui.
Alors je sais pas lequel lire en premier. Mets-toi là, comme ça. Fais coucou. Lequel maman doit lire en premier?
Celui-là.
Celui-là avec les oiseaux? D'accord. So our innocent 5-year-old hand decided that we'll be reading This Is How You Lose the Time War. So we'll meet up later to see how that's going.
So it's Wednesday today. I didn't come back to you yesterday because I didn't got a chance to read much in How to Lose a Time War. By now I DNF'd it. After 44 pages I was still very confused about what was happening and who we are following. It makes me sad, but that happens, and I also didn't want to get myself in a slump by trying to hang on to a book that I am not feeling attracted to. So I grabbed another book to read and I picked La Sourcière by Elise Fontenaille, which is a very small fantasy story about a girl that gets caught up in the eye of a local lord, but who doesn't want to be. That's all the blurb said, so I am really curious to find out what it is about. So here we are to finish up the vlog for Petit Mois, Petites Lectures, slightly in a different way than I would have liked. But with the kids on break last week, it was very hard to film things in a correct, calm manner. And so instead of doing book per book, we will discuss the books I have finished for this readathon. So there is 3 audiobooks that I have listened to, and if you have watched my February wrap-up video, then you know which ones. The first one is Princess Floralinda and the Fortified Tower by Tamsyn Muir. I had great expectations of this novella. Because the idea of the princess being not at all in a waiting for saving mood sounded very fun. Unfortunately, I liked it less than I wanted, since it is quite repetitive, and also we skip a lot of steps. So for the story, we meet Princess Floralinda, who is locked up all in the height of a tower by a witch, and she is waiting for a prince to come and save her. But after having watched a whole lot of princes being eaten by the dragon that lives on the first floor of the tower, she decides that she should take her destiny in her own hands, and she starts exploring the tower and almost at every level killing by accident the monster that is placed there as a challenge for the princess. She will also meet a fairy with whom the relationship will be quite turbulent, and this fairy will bring some nice perspective to the story and also will help to discover the growth in Floralinda's personality. And we will go down floor by floor, accidentally killing monster after monster, and then sometimes we will have a chapter titled like floor X, floor Y, floor Z, floor with this monster. And I think it's a little bit sad to jump so many floors, but then it makes sense since it's a novella and not a novel. And what I really liked is when she comes down at Floralinda and she beats the dragon, the witch comes, and the witch is quite sad because her whole enterprise is destroyed by this princess, since it is her breadwinning the princess pay to go save the princess. And now, well, she has no monsters left and no princess to save. And she offers Floralinda the job to be the guardian of the first floor, which she accepts. The way she will react to that at the very end is even better, but this I will keep as a surprise if you want to listen to this book. The two other books were part in the Murderbot Diaries, and again I was a little bit disappointed. I heard a lot of great things about this series, and so I went in with very high hopes. But for me, again, the story is not enough developed. Like I said before in my wrap-up, I discovered that I really need a more consequent book, more pages that explore the characters and the world building more than novellas do. In the Murderbot Diaries, we will meet and follow a murderbot, which is a robot with a very human appearance, and they are created as some kind of security guard and can be hired by anyone traveling to a place where it is better to have some bodyguard with you. The murderbot we are following has been able to hack its own system, and he is not dependent anymore of all the rules and protocols that the society that owns him programmed into him. And during this mission that we following him in, he has to deal with all the decision making that he never had to do before, and we follow him doing this and exploring what it means to be free, what it means to be human. In the second book, we will follow him in another mission, whilst he also tries to investigate events that happened and in which he was involved, but about whom the memory of this murderbot were erased. I really think it is a very interesting story, but I miss the depth, and maybe because I am not a sci-fi reader, I had trouble with the more small descriptions to imagine the world they are living in. I think we still need to talk also about La Sourcière by Elise Fontenaille that I have started not so long ago at the playground. This is a very short book, only some 100-ish pages, and I thought it was very interesting. Though I wish I would have read the author's note that's at the end before reading the story. This is a story of a lot of characters with words as a name. Like the Sourcière is a deformation of la sorcière, which means the witch, because this girl made come up water, created springs, and in French a spring is une source. And so a witch of the springs became the Sourcière. We follow a woman that finds before her door a young girl on the point of giving birth, and she will help her do this, but the girl will not survive. So the woman decides to keep the baby and to take care of this little girl. We follow her growing up, and we see her become la sorcière. In this world, it seems that all characters have some special gift, although it's not always clear what it is. And another thing that then comes up is that in this world there is an abbey that has been taken over by a man that is called le Seigneur, that could be translated as Lord, but the way it is written, it is more the one who makes bleed. And this man is called this way because he is at the head of a troop of monks that go around the country stealing, raiding, and going to kidnap young girls. One day, this man decides that he wants for himself the girl we are following, and the characters around her will try to protect her. In the end, this girl decides that she has to be the one to put a stop to the reign of terror this man is putting over the country, and so she decides to go and meet him like he asked, and she kills him. I thought this story was quite simple, but the way it was written was extremely beautiful. It was very poetic, and I really liked the writing style. The reason I wish I would have read the author's note before reading the story is because she explains that the abbey that she describes really does exist, and that this story is based on a legend that is going with this abbey. I will try to find some more information when we are back at home, and I will insert a little clip about this true legend or this abbey, and I will also try to put some pictures of it somewhere.
So editing me here, like promised, I have looked up this abbey and I have included some pictures in my resume just before this clip. This abbey is located in the southeast of France, and it has a very long history. But indeed, in this period, there has been a takeover by a local lord and some bandits, turning this abbey into a place of a lot of bad things. They made a big part of the inhabitants flee, and some of the monks joined these criminals. But the name of the red monks comes from somewhere else, not the legend or the history of this abbey, and maybe it comes from myth from Bretagne, or then there are also books portraying red monks. So I don't know exactly where that part of the story is coming from.
Another book I have read is Paramo by Juan Rulfo. I don't have the book anymore to show you, so I'll put an image somewhere because it's already back to the library. This book is a magical realism that I enjoyed a whole lot, but only up to the middle. I do love magical realism, and in this one we are following a man that has promised his mother on her deathbed that he would go to Comala, his mother's birth village, to go meet his father, Pedro Paramo, and to ask him for what he owes them. At first he doesn't want to go, but in the end, why not? And he sets off. When he arrives in this village, it is quite strange since it is all in ruins. But still he meets people. Very slowly we start to understand that these are spirits of the dead that tell him in a non-chronological order the story of his father's life. Something happens in the middle of the book that I cannot tell you about if I don't want to spoil, that changes quite a lot for the story, and I didn't like that, and it took away all the magic for me. But for the rest, I thought it was a really well done magical realism, and I am pretty sure I will be trying to read some more from Latin American authors. Petite interview sur le docteur Dolittle. Est-ce que tu as aimé ce qu'on a lu?
Oh, oui, j'ai aimé ce qu'on a lu.
Et après, t'as plus aimé?
Non,
Pourquoi pas?
c'est pas les façons de parler.
La façon de parler des blancs et des noirs? Oui. Est-ce que tu veux finir le livre?
Oui, quand même.
Quand même, tu vas le lire tout seul alors.
Ok.
Ok. Nana! Cours jusqu'ici. Tu vas être comme ça sur Internet. Est-ce que tu as bien aimé de lire le Docteur Dolittle?
Moyen, parce qu'il n'y avait pas assez de beaux textes.
D'accord. Est-ce que tu voudrais le finir l'histoire?
Non.
Non. Ok. Ça va. Merci beaucoup.